Kid number 7. Okay, gotta see your eyes on this. Really focus. Refocus. Okay, 7 is a great example of a question I've seen once in 50 years of AP questions and never seen it again. They did a great job of making a tricky question that will typically fool half the class. In AP calculus, you do not want to hurry. When you take the ACT math test, you do hurry. You have to go fast to get a good score. You do not want to go fast on the AP test. You score far better if you just are deliberate, just like steady. Okay? It is timed, so you don't want to, go slow per se, but you just be deliberate. For example, if I were taking the actual test, I would not read this rapidly. I'd go really slow. I'd say, okay, if the line tangent, I'd stop reading. It didn't say slope of the line tangent. Line tangent and slope are different. Line is a bunch of points. So if the line tangent, if a bunch of points that are tangent to F, at that moment I'm going to draw what I draw over and over again. In fact, I've done it so much, it has been immortalized here. A gift from students about 15 years ago. They called it my favorite picture because I just draw it repeatedly. So you get used to me doing this. I need a line tangent to the graph of F. Please note, concentration is good. I stopped reading. Don't keep reading. Line tangent to the graph of F. So here we go. Here's F. Now look, we don't know if F really looks like that or not. But I found that on the AP test, it rarely matters. You just get something drawn. It helps your brain kind of relax and make sense of what they're saying. We need a line tangent to that graph. If it's tangent to F, it has to be at some point. And they tell us the point right here, 1, 7. So you just draw a point. It doesn't really matter where. We need a line tangent to F at that point. So, let's see if I can do this. I've done this for a lot of years. I'm sometimes a good shot, sometimes not. So line tangent, that's a good shot. I like that. What the heck? That's a pretty good compliment. It's a good straight line, yeah?
That's it.
Okay. Dead shot, man. Take a pistol shooting or something. Hey, look. That's a line tangent. Hey, that's a line tangent to F at the point 1, 7. Okay? A line's just a bunch of dots. So you give it another name. I call it G of X. I keep reading the problem. This is how fast I would have worked the problem. Like this slow. Josie, please.
So, what does line tangent mean? Like, does that just mean it's a straight line? It's always a straight line? Gotcha. Okay, cool.
2 more. Hey, this is what she said. In AP Calculus, when they use the word line, it always means linear, so always straight.
Okay.
Otherwise, they will use the word function or curve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll say the curve, sometimes they'll just say the function. Like here, I mean, it's possible, Josie, 2 for Josie, that the function F could be straight as well. Not very common, like pretty rare, like 0.1% chance. So the line is straight, the function is curved. Cool. Okay. It says if the line tangent to the graph of F at point 1, 7 passes through this point. I got to know where to draw this point. Hands up, everyone. Does that point go on G of X, F of X, or just somewhere else based on the reading? This is not a math question. This is a reading question.
G of X?
Does this go, hands up, does the point -2, -2 belong on G of X, F of X, or just somewhere else? Trying to get somebody new I haven't called on. Let's go, Christian. G of X. So it says the line tangent at F is at that point, and that line passes through that point. So 2 points if you knew. So we've got another point over here at -2, -2. We need to talk about that. Okay. We are trying to determine the value of F prime of 1. Now remember, you have to translate from math to English. So they are literally saying, what is the slope or the tangent slope of F at an x coordinate of 1. That's what they're asking. They want to know what is the slope of f right here. Right there. What's the slope of f right there? Now, here's a little tool I've used for a couple of years now. You need to memorize, because they're going to talk about lines tangent to function a lot. And when you have a line tangent to a function, this little table has helped a lot of people keep things sorted out. We have x, we have f of x. Hello. No worries. Okay, look. We also have g of x. So I'm going to draw a table over here. Putting them all in the same table has helped a lot of people, so I'm going to keep them in the same table. And then we have the slope of f, that's f prime. And then we also have the slope of g, that's g prime. Here's what we know. We know that we have a point on f that is at x equal 1. This is supposed to be easy. Free points, raise your hand. Who knows what goes in this column right there? Hands up. Who knows what belongs in that column? It's supposed to be easy. What goes in that column? Well, let's go, Simon.
7.
So 2 points if you knew. What goes in this column right here? It's supposed to be easy. Hands up if you know. What goes in that column? That's pretty good. Most everybody. Let's go, Lizzie.
7.
That is also 7. 2 more, if you knew that. Okay, that point is a point that is one of the blue points on F. That point is also one of the red points on G. So it's in both. That's why I put them in the table so you can remember they go together. If a line is tangent to a curve, they're going to share that point. Are you with me? Awesome. Okay, this one is not as easy, but it's not hard. Who knows what goes in the black box? Thinking, it's doing great. If you're not sure, feel free to talk to someone next to you that knows. Talk to anyone who doesn't know. Talk to somebody. Need more hands though. We're just waiting for more hands. What is the? Okay, remember, G prime means the slope of G. Josie reminded us that G is linear. That means the slope of G never changes. It's always the same. Slope means rate of change. Who knows what goes in the black box? There we go. Getting more of it. Looking better. And for those who are courageous, let's go India. So 1 is incorrect, but tell me why you got 1.
The -2. Just one of the other points.
So tell me where you got 1. I'm still not sure. You just divide them.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. 2 points. Look. Hey, look. Common error. No big deal. If we take, y divided by x, the result is absolutely 1. But the slope of a line is always the change in y divided by the change in x. And so if we're just looking at one y value, we're not finding how much the y changed. We're just looking at the y value. So dividing these is a common error, but it never will give you the slope. So no worries. So hands up. What's the slope of the green? What's the slope of the green? Christian?
Would it be 5/3?
So closer to me. You got it.
I found the distance or the rate of change from -2 to 7.
Pause right there.
Oh, which I guess is not 5. It's 9.
Much better. Keep going.
And then the rate of change from -2 to 1 is 3.
Perfect.
So it's 9/3, which is 3.
Yeah, so Christiana found the change in y from -2 to 7 is a change in the y value of 9. From -2 to 1 is a change in the x value of 3. Therefore, the slope of the green line is 3. Hands up. How many knew? 2 more. Okay. We need to talk about it. Okay, that's the slope of the green. Now look. There's 2 words. You got to memorize them carefully. There's tangent line. Oh, we're playing something over here. Now I don't know what we're talking about. Look, focus. Okay, there's tangent line and there's tangent slope. Hear the difference? Tangent slope is an equation, it's a bunch of dots. Tangent line is a number. But they use the same word tangent because right here, the slope of the curve and the slope of the line tangent are the same. Well, the slope of the line tangent is always 3. That means that x equals 1 and x equals y equals 7, the slope of f is also 3. So f prime at 1 is 3. Please, Christian.
Why are they the same? Why are they both 3?
By definition. Definition means somebody said, hey, we're gonna create something. We're gonna take this curve, and we're gonna say if we go to some point on the curve, and we find the slope at that point, and whatever that slope is, like whatever it happens to be, if we then draw a line through that point, so this yellow is, like that slope is known as the tangent slope of f. So whatever that yellow slope is, it's the tangent slope of f. Tangent slope of f. And in our example, we would say that tangent slope of f is 1. No, sorry, 3. That tangent slope of f is 3. That's the slope of f at that point. If we then draw a line, meaning a bunch of dots, that go through that point, we're going to draw that line and make sure it has the same slope at that point. So by definition, when I draw a tangent line through here, that tangent line has the same slope because that's how it was created. So there's not a, why is it true? Because we said it would be. Does that kind of help? Some more? Anybody else? Oh, that's it. This problem was not hard. The math was, third grade level. It was just understanding is what they're testing. They're not testing your ability to do a bunch of computations. They want to know, do you understand? Okay, please.
So on the test, could you basically just like look at those 2 points?
I
and,
can't
like,
hear. Quiet again.
On the test, could you basically just like look at those 2 points and like skip all that we did and just like find the slope of those 2 points?
2 more for Kate. So on the test, you wouldn't do that, and here's why. Is everybody eyes on me on this one? Look at me. You'll never see this question again, ever. Like I've studied AP questions that go back to 1969, like the ones they've made public that are multiple choice. So I've studied hundreds and hundreds. They have never done this again, ever. They do other things that are kind of similar, so I can't ever say, oh, if you encounter this problem, just skip all of this. No, don't skip any of it. Because you're trying to figure out what they're talking about. And they're going to ask you to figure something out. Will you end up doing this again? Maybe, but maybe not. They tend to twist the problems around. That's one reason, hey, this is the last homework. Yeah, don't talk when I talk. I cannot concentrate. Like I know some teachers, and it's just everyone's different personality. Like you go in the room and it's really loud because teacher's talking and half the room is still talking. It's got to be dead silent. Otherwise, I have no ability to gauge whether or not this is making any sense to you at all. But anyway, we're going to take the test on the 16th. This is your last homework packet. That's why we need lots of days in between to get you to see more problems that are going to be AP problems. You go, oh, yet a new idea. And I'm going to say, hey, you have the tools to answer this. If you can't see how, we need to talk a little bit so I can help you see better how to use the tools. But yeah, you're not going to shortcut it because you're never going to see it again. Okay, cool. Let's stop this one.